So the topic for today's discussion is if a paper residency is possible in Belize. Now, Belize is a very popular destination. It's a very popular option amongst a lot of clients. One of the biggest reasons why Belize is so popular or so much in demand, or let's say the residency in Belize is so much in demand, is because Belize is the only exception. It's the only English speaking country in the Latin Americas. Rest all are Spanish speaking. A lot of people actually get excited. They want to learn the Spanish, and that way they can experience, or they get to establish residencies with that whole Spanish requirement. But once they start putting in efforts, they quickly lose steam and they don't end up really learning the language, or even if they learn the language, then they never feel local enough to survive in the Latin Americas. So in that case, Belize being the only English speaking country is extremely popular because you don't run that risk. Yes, you can learn Spanish, you can put in all your efforts, but at the end of the day, let's say you aren't really able to complete your requirements, you are protected because you can survive with just English. So that makes the Belize option so much more popular. The Belize option is also very interesting, wherein you don't have to really invest much except your time in the country. So let's say you want to convert to a PR status, then you enter Belize as a visitor. And it's very unique in the sense that even entering in as a visitor, you're able to convert into a permanent residency status by putting in time on the ground, meaning you enter the country, you stay put, you don't exit. Other than those 14 days, which is a couple of weeks time, you have to live in the country physically. So you're really investing your time in the country, and that qualifies you for converting from a temporary residency, or let's say a visitor residency, into a permanent residency. Now, while this sounds pretty fascinating and interesting, then one can so easily do this, but a lot of people are really not in a situation to be trapped in a country for that long, right? 1 year in your life time is a lot of time to be trapped in a country, really not move because of this restriction. And at the end of the day, if something comes up and you have to exit, you're straight away resetting your clock. So that is not acceptable to a lot of nomads who are traveling, who are establishing different residencies in different countries. However, that English option, the fact that the country functions only on English, is pretty attractive, and a lot of queries if there is any option for establishing a paper residency in Belize. Now, the answer to that question is yes. I'm going to discuss how you can establish a paper residency in Belize. But before we discuss this all exciting topic, if you're new to my channel, my name is Jay Suresh, and here we discuss investments that lead to residencies and citizenships. So if you haven't subscribed, take a moment and subscribe to my channel so you're always up to date on the latest and greatest regarding any of the programs. Now, Belize does have two other alternate ways to establish residency. The first one is the second one rather is the QRP. Now, if you haven't checked out my video on the QRP option, you can return and check that out. It's for it's a retirement program. You have to be over 45 to qualify that option. So not everyone would qualify under that option, but if you are 45 or over, then you can return and watch the QRP video that I have on Belize, and you can get to know the requirements. The third and very interesting option is the paper residency option in Belize. And mind you, when I say paper residency, it doesn't mean anything illegal. Paper residency is what I mean is a flexible residency where you don't have to be restricted to spending a certain amount of time in a country. It can be flexible. You can leave, you can return, you can spend as less or as much as you can afford. So that is a flexible residency, which obviously we are calling as a paper residency. Now, the paper residency option in Belize functions exactly similar to the first option, wherein instead of being a visitor, you are a temporary resident. So you start off with being a temporary resident person in Belize, which is a TRC status, and once you complete the TRC of 1 year in Belize, you can then qualify for a permanent residency in your second year, meaning you complete the 1 year and then you qualify for permanent residency. The big difference here, however, is that on the TRC, it's a paper residency, so you don't actually physically have to live there for the whole year. Unlike in the first option, here you have the flexibility to live as less as you want. So once you spend that TRC for 1 year, second year you can qualify for permanent residency, and then you can do your usual stuff on permanent residency to get your Belize citizenship. Eventually the requirements remain the same, 5 years, and then you can work yourself towards the Belize passport if you are interested in going that route. Now, how do you get the TRC, or the temporary residency in Belize, which is a paper residency? There is an investor route, meaning you have to invest in a country. Let's say you are looking for a seaside, ocean facing condo, you are interested in the Atlantic lifestyle. Let's say you're from the US, or let's say you're from Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or the Bahamas, and you don't mind establishing a residency, let's say on the sea, in Belize. Let's say you're looking for a sea facing condo, then you can invest money in your own condo. The minimum investment amount is 250K, which in my opinion is really a modest amount, because anything you buy ocean facing, you're looking at that anyways. And this is not a donation to the government, this is investing in your own property, meaning you're buying your own vacation home, or your plan B home, or your getaway home, or your rental property. Let's say you're buying this property and renting it. There's a lot of expat population in Belize who loves renting, so it can be your rental business, whatever you want to do with it, it's up to you. But if you buy this condo for 250K, then this makes you eligible for your Belize temporary residency, and this is a paper residency, as I said. So this easily qualifies you for your residency. You can set up your residency, and then in your second year you are looking at your permanent residency. So I thought this is a very interesting option. A lot of people would qualify for this one, unlike the first option. And if you are looking to get started with establishing your residency in Belize via this option or any other option, you can always reach us. We can discuss your investment budget, we can get you started with property viewings, we can set you on your path to this all important, interesting second residency. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and see you in the next one.